When we look back at the 2020 NFL Draft, there is no questioning that this may be one of the most stacked classes across the board in forever. From the depth at wide receiver, to the likes of Joe Burrow, to the absolute explosiveness coming off the edge, this has got star power written all over it. And that of course means that some star talent is going to slip through the cracks. And one of those named was Clemson safety K'Von Wallace, a man who bizarrely ended up falling graciously into the laps of Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles all the way down in the 4th round with pick number 127. Now, Wallace for me is a very intriguing player. He is the most versatile safety imaginable, which is exactly what this Eagles defense needs after losing Malcolm Jenkins. And like every other film room, this was initially going to just be a one-stop shop to look at everything that this man does. And then I watched the tape from the national championship game where I saw K'Von Wallace essentially spend most of his time covering none other than Justin Jefferson. I wanted to see how that panned out because oddly enough most of those snaps were spent in the slot, so I thought it made far more sense to break up this film room into 2, maybe 3 different parts, each focusing on a different area. How is he in the box? How is he in the slot? How is he over the top? And this game in the slot against names like Terrence Marshall, tight end Thaddeus Moss, and of course Justin Jefferson, this is the ultimate grading scale to see just how good K'Von Wallace could be in the slot in those sub packages. Being versatile is great, but I think it can quite often be linked with the term jack of all trades, master of none. I want to see what K'Von Wallace is a master of, and today we're going to focus on how he looked against LSU. My name is Liam Jenkins and welcome to the first in a 3-part special of a K'Von Wallace Eagles Film Room. As always, if you are new to this channel, it would be a great help to us if you could hit that subscribe button if you enjoy our content, and make sure to turn those bells on for notifications. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Your support in a time like this really does mean absolutely everything to us. And on that note, if you could just take an extra couple of minutes a day to go on phillysportsnetwork.com and read the work from myself and all of our other writers, not only is it going to help you get a more complete sense of Philadelphia sports coverage and hopefully a new home for it without the clickbait and the headlines that just make you cringe and riled up inside, but it also helps us as well. So why is this game important to me, and why did I single it out for its own episode as opposed to just bundling it in? Well, Justin Jefferson, as many of you will know, was a wide receiver heavily linked with the Eagles in the run-up to the NFL Draft. Yeah, there are concerns that he may be marginalized to the slot in his first couple of years, but the guy may be the twitchiest, most explosive route runner in the entire class, has the safest hands in the entire class, and is just a menace with the ball in his hands. And as a result, one of the knocks on his game regarding his capability at the next level is that he rarely faced press coverage. He rarely faced a man in his face initiating contact because, well, they're too scared of giving up yards if they get beat. And this was a constant throughout his 2019 tape. And the one thing that jumped out straight away is that while K'Von Wallace wasn't always on his toes at the line of scrimmage, he was very aggressive, he was bullying him, and he wasn't going to let Justin Jefferson run all over him that day. Take this play for example. Now, he's not pressing at the line of scrimmage, there is a cushion, but he's lining up here in man over Justin Jefferson, and it displays a trait that helps him go stride for stride with the LSU wideout throughout the game. Wallace understands the game, he's very quick to react, and he's got the athleticism to match that mentality. When you factor in some aggressiveness as well, you've got someone that can play in the slot and be very aggressive when doing so, regardless of who he's matched up against. So we're going to split this into segments, because Justin Jefferson is a really explosive receiver off the line. He's able to shed the pass rusher, and at this point his leg is bent, which is terrifying in itself. But look at Wallace, he's already loading up that gun to fire, to explode out of that stance. He drops that back leg down, drops his weight onto that leg, and he's able to explode down into the path, not into the receiver. He's able to get a hand on that outside arm, feel his way down the route, and take him out of the play. This play I absolutely love. The Clemson Tigers are down 35-25 in the 4th quarter with 13 minutes to go. It's a 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. This coverage right here is absolutely sticky. Now, he's working a lot closer to the line of scrimmage, and Jefferson gets a great release. He's able to bleed outside. Now, Wallace stays compact. He doesn't bite, he doesn't overset, and the second Jefferson cuts back across his face, we see that same trait again. He explodes off that back leg, gets a hand on the outside arm, and as a result is then able to nullify the play and make it a catch that goes absolutely nowhere. That route is designed to get Jefferson separation into open space. It doesn't happen there. There's another example here. He's lining up over the slot, and he's just able to put his arms into the chest of the wide receiver, getting physical in the stem, disrupting the time of the route. The ball doesn't go his way, but it's just that intimidation, it's that aggression to make sure that you can go stride for stride with the receiver. And then you've got examples like this, down inside the red zone. He's lined up once again over Justin Jefferson. You'd like to think this is where the corner has the advantage, but just look at the physicality that Wallace is able to bring there to just completely suffocate the wide receiver. It's absolutely excellent. There are other examples though where he's not asked to do that, and he's simply asked to carry the wide receiver down in towards a safety because he knows he's got help over the top, so he doesn't have to be that aggressive. The only snap he was beaten on was this, where it's great footwork from Jefferson to explode inside, and Wallace still makes a nice tackle. He aims up well. He's got the lowest missed tackle percentage of any safety in this draft class, and that's why. Because he's always looking for the next step. It's not reactionary, it's instinctive. Take a look at this play, for instance. LSU down in the red zone again. They're going to try and run a pick play here. They're going to drive that cornerback into Kayvon Wallace in an attempt to get Jefferson open underneath. Wallace sees this, tries to get his teammate to make an adjustment, and look at his eyes. He's already seeing where Jefferson's going. He's able to shed that play and come down and close over the top. You'd like to think he would have made the stop had the ball gone his way. In fact, the game was littered with examples like that. Here's another where he's lined up in man coverage over the slot receiver, and look at where he keeps his eyes. Again, they're in the backfield. He carries that receiver through the middle, but turns his eyes. Burrows released the ball, so he peels off and makes a tackle. That is a very Darius Slay type play. Just to peel off a route with that sixth sense and hunt the ball. I absolutely love that. He's back in coverage here, giving a 5-yard cushion on what's going to be a slant route, and I want you to watch the way he plays this, because while he is a ball hawk, he opened his hips a bit late. The catch is complete, but it's the vision that stands out. Again, that click and close, that burst, that vision to wrap up a receiver, he very rarely misses. Here's another fine example of that vision that we're talking about. He's always got an eye in the backfield. He's going to carry the receiver up, and at this point, he knows the ball's not coming. It's in the running back's hands. Peels off, slides underneath, somehow sifts through traffic and makes a tackle. Like, that is a very impressive way, no matter how you look at it. Now, Wallace is going to concede another slant route here, and that's okay, but what I love is the fact that right here, the ball's in his hands, and look at the body position. He's looking to close over the top and minimize the gap between himself and the receiver, and he in turn makes a tackle. Those tackling angles are so important to a safety's game, especially someone that's used in as many varieties as Kayvon Wallace, who here, for instance, comes down on a blitz, sees the ball go the other way, flies back outside, and is able to make a tackle. He's just relentless, and this game for me told me everything I need to know. And I don't ever want to put him into a box, if you pardon the pun, because I do think he's going to be this jack of all trades player, someone that can be the ultimate Swiss Army knife, but you can absolutely make a case that he could be, for instance, a long-term insurance policy at nickel cornerback. Cre'Von LeBlanc may not have the longest stint in Philadelphia after coming off of an injury. We know that Nickell Robey-Coleman was brought in on a 1-year deal. Who's to say that Kayvon Wallace isn't going to be groomed in the slot for performances like that? He also spent 55% of his snap count in 2019 from the slot. Now, I don't think that is going to happen. I think he's going to have a much broader, a much bigger, a much Malcolm Jenkins type role in this defense. Comforting, knowing that Kayvon Wallace has that kind of upside, he has that kind of potential, and that proficiency to do it against Justin Jefferson, to do it against LSU on the stage of a national championship. And there are so many more highlights and examples throughout his 2019 tape against different teams where he's doing different responsibilities, and that's what those film rooms are going to be for. But I wanted to spend today just focusing on what he does as a slot cornerback, and what we see is someone that's aggressive, someone that's physical, and that does not care the prestige of player that's opposite him. He's going to bully him into submission. Justin Jefferson may have went off that game for over 100 yards, and that's fine. But Wallace didn't allow one of those big plays. I think his longest catch of the day was 35 yards. It came on the other side of the field. And I think overall, when Wallace was on him, it was just a brilliant battle between two potentially elite players. The Eagles have clearly got a steal in the 4th round of this draft, but I want to know what you guys think. What do you want to see next on this channel? What other film rooms are you looking forward to? Let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, it would be amazing if you could take some time and hit that subscribe button, leave a like if you did enjoy this video. And if you do want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Liam Jenkins PSN. Make sure you're staying safe. Make sure you're looking after yourselves and your family in this stressful time. From myself, Liam Jenkins, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I'll see you next time for another episode of Eagles Film Room.